Time now to turn our attention to horse racing, and yesterday, of course, was the Stradbroke Day at Eagle Farm. Another wonderful day on the Brisbane Winter Racing Carnival. And joining us from our Brisbane studios, hear no evil, see no evil, Wayne Wilson and Keith Hillier.
Hello, David. How are you?
Not necessarily in any particular order, Wayne.
Oh, we had a great day of racing here yesterday at Eagle Farm, the Stradbroke Handicap, and well, a freakish training performance, Keith, I believe, by Lee Friedman to bring him back from a middle distance campaign to win, I think, the greatest sprint race in the country.
Yep, I think so, Wayne. The biggest crowd since Tulloch at Eagle Farm yesterday for the Stradbroke.
Were they there to see Hariba?
They probably were, but we did learn something out of this, David. This race has not been won by a squib, and it probably won't be in the future. Not that I'm saying Hariba's a squib, but you need to be a miler, and Hariba proved that he wasn't yesterday. Don't blame the jockey, a lot did, but it wasn't Simon Marshall's fault.
Well, we might go to the action, but as you mentioned yesterday, Wayne, one of the great training performances of all time, and a tremendous comeback after the failure in the Hollandale Cup, which was only back on May 13th.
Yes, it certainly was. To bring him back from 1,800 metres to the 1,400 and to get his head right. Richard Friedman said that the horse hasn't been thinking properly, he hasn't been thinking about racing, so they tricked him into coming back to this race, the Stradbroke Handicap, and they tricked him into coming back with fantastic results. Keith, I was a little surprised the speed that he showed. He was up running fourth in the early part of the race.
Sitting just behind them, that's Hariba, the short price favourite, third on the fence. He's got a couple of flyers in front of him. They were carving along too, 46.3 for the first half mile or 800 metres. So had Hariba taken them on, it would have been suicidal. He stays behind them, he does get blocked in, but when the gap comes eventually in the straight, only Dennis Singer had gone past him. When he got out, three others went past Hariba. Why not? Just don't think it was Hariba was on his day.
No, I think he raced well below what we know he can do, Hariba, certainly well below the Qantas form. He's held up for a run there, but the gap is coming now between Jazz Heaven and Quick Flick. But look at Dennis Singer sprinting quickly on the outside. He's raced past them. Hariba's in the clear now, but he's not good enough to go with Dennis Singer. On the outside, on course, I thought loomed as a bit of a danger for a moment or two, but Dennis Singer too strong in the run to the line, and Dennis Singer beat on course and monopolised his run very good in finishing in third place. Hariba weakening at the end to finish fifth.
Stephen King aboard Dennis Singer. He won the race on Never Under Charge in '93. He's ridden 5 Group 1 winners as a stand-in jockey for Damien Oliver, for Lee Friedman this season.
And Wayne, of course, Lee Friedman was very confident even before the race.
Well, he was. At a special luncheon here on Friday, he was tipping Dennis Singer to win the Stradbroke. Not only to win the Stradbroke, but to go a lot better than his more highly fancied stablemate Gold Ace. Gold Ace raced disappointingly. I'd be surprised if there isn't something amiss with Gold Ace, because he finished back at the rear of the field. He went very disappointingly, Gold Ace.
Well, Keith, how tough is Chris Muntz? He had his problems leading up to the Derby yesterday, but a great staying performance by Valance and celebrations in Newcastle Town.
Yes, there should be too, because this was the other extreme of racing. This is what makes racing something special. Peter Eggleston, unlike Lee Friedman, has a small team. He's only got 8 horses in work. Unlike Lee Friedman, who has had 70 Group 1 winners, Valance yesterday in the QTC Derby gave Peter Eggleston his first. And there's a tough little fella, Chris Muntz, getting Valance home, seemingly impossible even at this stage.
Not a lot of pace on early, Wayne. Does that surprise you with Valance's final, the way he produced here at the end?
Well, it certainly did, because there was no pace on early, and it set it up for a very tough assignment for Valance to come from well back in the field. But he responded to Chris's urgings over the final stages. Chris in a little bit of trouble too for comments that he made after the running of the race. They're going to inquire into that tomorrow at Eagle Farm. And I thought the run of Super Slews was very good, because Keith, he just pulled his head off. He ripped and teared right from the word go.
Yes, he's still in tomorrow's Brisbane Cup field, and a rough chance of him running one.
Yes, it's likely that he will run in the Brisbane Cup, but maybe that just took the edge off him a little bit yesterday as far as the pulling goes. But he's going to have to settle in a 3,200 metre race to be any chance. But he drops in the weights. He's down to 49.5 kilos, and it was a great performance yesterday after pulling so hard at the early part of the race.
The short price favourite just pulled his way out of the race.
Yeah. Keith, earlier in the day, of course, a great battle of wits between Larry Cassidy and Darren Beedman. Nova Lotto and Money Thinks in a very, very tight finish in the Eagle Farm Stakes.
Yes, it was. The pace was slow in this race, and it really wasn't set up for the swoopers. But you'll see Larry Cassidy coming home hard to win in a, well, it was a nail-biter. Hope you got it right, Wayne. It was so close you'd be excused if you didn't.
No, we got it right. Beautiful ride by Beedman on Money Thinks, booting through on the inside. Now, here's No Bellotto charging home. Stony Bay seems to be racing below his best, but it was a glimpse of form yesterday. You can see No Bellotto diving right on the line. She just got there. No Bellotto just beating Money Thinks on the line.
She's off to the Tats Cup now.
Yeah.
Now, you had no trouble getting through the tick gates, Keith, to get to Brisbane for the Winter Carnival?
None at all, and loving the sun, and may see you here tomorrow, I believe.
Yes, I'll be out for Brisbane Cup Day. I might be able to get a tip off you, but you might let our Sports World viewers know if you can help them out there tomorrow.
Oh, ask me something difficult. Dupain will win the Brisbane Cup tomorrow. Has been set for the race, waited to win. It's a Sydney victory in the Brisbane Cup tomorrow. Dupain and Kevin Forrester.
And Wayne, you've got some Black Book specials there for us?
Yes, I've got a couple for you, David. I'm going French Resort. I'll go against you, Keith, in the Brisbane Cup. French Resort. Anthems, the new superstar of Australian racing, will win the Castlemaine Classic easily tomorrow. And here's one for the future. Dare I say, this horse reminded me of Mahogany yesterday at Eagle Farm, a horse called Linford. He's raced by the same people, trained by the same bloke, ridden by the same man, and even looks like he's by last take in the same sire. Oh, it's a big.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but Anthem's just spot on there, and that's more immediate.
Yeah. Well, you watch for Linford in the spring, boy.
OK, Wayne Wilson, Keith Hill here. Thanks for joining us this morning. I look forward to your company tomorrow on Brisbane Cup Day.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Wayne and Keith. We'll take a break. Still more to come here on Sports World.